Hey, it's Dave here, living the next chapter. A little funky groove going on here. This is pretty cool. So we are coming up on, drumroll, coming up on 100 episodes. 100 in like 8 months. Yeah. I'm exhausted. But I have some great guests lined up and more surprises. More surprises. I need your help, though. Hello? Are you out there? I'm talking to you. Yeah, you. Listening right now. I need your help. Can you please do me a huge favor? Jump on over to livingthenextchapter.com. It's a website. livingthenextchapter.com, and there's a little microphone icon. Click that little microphone icon and leave me a message. Your voice on our podcast. It's going to happen, but the only way it's going to happen is if you actually do this. And it doesn't, you don't have to be, but Dave, I'm not techie. And I say, well, that's okay, because it's one button. You click one button, you talk, and you're done. If you've gone this far listening to a podcast, and you know how to find a podcast, thank you for listening to Living in the Next Chapter, by the way. If you know how to do this, you can leave me a message. Here's what I'm asking. I want you to say your name. It can just be your first name, where you're listening to the podcast from. Shout out you where you represent, what, and such. Your name, where you're from, your favorite episode, or your favorite guest, or anything that you want to say. And we're going to take all of your words and throw it into our 100th episode. What, and such. Do you want to be on a podcast? You're like, how do I even start? How about just recording your voice on our website, livingthenextchapter.com, and we will put your voice into the podcast. How about that? Think you can handle that? I think you can handle that. I really, really do. So go livingthenextchapter.com, click the microphone right there, right in the center of your screen or on your phone. Click it, record a message, and it gets sent right to us on Living the Next Chapter. How cool is that? We have a special guest on our 100th episode. And, I'm not going to tell you who it is. But he's a superstar, and I'm a big fan. He'll be on the podcast to talk about our 100th episode. We're going to have shout-outs to our past guests. We're going to have all kinds of stuff. There'll be free cake. Trying to figure out how I'm going to distribute free cake to 70 countries. That'll be a nightmare, right? Wherever you're listening to the podcast, we would love to have you to be a part of the podcast. Your voice on Living the Next Chapter. The reason why we're doing this is for you. If you notice, there's no commercials. None. Have you listened to other podcasts where it's like 10, 20 minutes of just trying to sell you a mattress? No, not on Living the Next Chapter. We're all about you. We're all about great authors. We're all about building a community around our authors and giving and shining the spotlight on them. The authors are the hero in this podcast. And you also are the hero on Living the Next Chapter. So, how can we be better? How can we grow? What's coming up in the next 100 episodes of Living the Next Chapter? Well, I hope we get better. There's always room to improve, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. What would you like? I'm trying different things. I'm playing with different things to find the groove, hence the music. Trying to find the groove for the podcast, and your input helps shape what we do. Podcast too long, too short. Podcast guests too many, not enough. I want to hear more of Dave. I want to hear less of Dave. Hey, I'm here to create a podcast for you. Now, I know you have, millions of choices out there. You could be watching Netflix right now. You could be watching YouTube. You could be on Instagram taking a picture of your lasagna. You could be on TikTok trying to dance. Oh gosh, I'll spare you that. I won't do that. But TikTok's cool. But anyways, there's so many things you could do, right? But you've chosen to be here. You're still listening to me. That's kind of cool, right? Yeah. So, you could be doing so many other things, but you found Living the Next Chapter. And I thank you on behalf of our guests, on every author, on every episode. You've been there for us. You're listening. And I truly do appreciate you spending time with us, making time in your day, in your month, in your schedule to be part of the podcast. One thing you're going to notice in the next few weeks, this is mid-September that I'm recording. We're actually going to be doing, I have such a backlog of podcast episodes that we're doing like a daily release. I've maxed out, people. I have maxed out my hosting site. I can't give you any more. We're going to be up to 68, 69 episodes by the end of September 2022. I still have finished recordings waiting to be loaded to the internet. Ugh. I have more episodes than I'm allowed to give you. That's a problem. How am I getting around this? Okay. Inside scoop. If you listen this far, you're my friends. So I'm allowed to tell you this. If you head over to our YouTube channel, links on livingthenextchapter.com, head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. What you're going to get, don't tell anybody, okay? It's just between you and me. What you can get on Living the Next Chapter's YouTube channel is the most recent episode of our podcast. There's times where I have the YouTube version of our podcast on YouTube the same day it's recorded. What? Yes. Now, to all you YouTube crazed people out there, you're probably going to look at this and go, oh no. It's one of those image videos where the audio's there and there's just a picture. Oh gosh. That's not how you use YouTube, Dave. What is your problem? The reason I'm doing this is to get my podcast out early. I don't have limits when I have YouTube, which is great. But I'm also using these files as backup files. In the case that my computer decides to take a nap and I lose all my files, I have backups. Thank you, YouTube. It's free hosting for backups. It's awesome. So they're there as a backup version of my podcast. I will be releasing the real video footage, the interview. I will be releasing clips. I will be doing all of the YouTube things to please the YouTube fans out there. It's coming. It's coming. But if you want early access to the podcast, go to livingthenextchapter.com, click on the YouTube link, and subscribe. You will see in your feed newest episodes. We're up to over like 60,000 impressions. We're up like over 1,000% in viewership. Like, it is crazy. And now YouTube is sending out suggested videos from our channel to other people. It's quite odd. But go there, you'll get the latest and greatest Beyond the Velvet Rope access to Living the Next Chapter and see the episodes that you want way in advance before any app will pick it up. You will already know and be a part of the inner circle. Ooh, the inner circle of Living the Next Chapter. Yeah, it's a big deal. 100 episodes of Living the Next Chapter. I am so thrilled that in less than 8 months, we've gone from 0 to 100. And you are the ones to thank. Thank you so much for being a part of our community. Thank you for being a part of our world. Thank you for all that you've done, for the comments, the suggestions, the emails, the social media likes and follows, the subscribes on YouTube. And wherever you're finding us in the world, I'm amazed. I look at my numbers once in a while, and I look at where people are listening, and I'm truly thankful and blessed that you are listening. I would love if you share your favorite episode of the first 100 with one person in your circle and say, hey, go check out Living the Next Chapter. Check out this episode. And the reason I'm sending you this episode is fill in the blank. And tell them why. Why did you think of them when you heard that episode? Share it with them and help us build this community. Oh, community. Wait. Segue. We have a community. It's The Next Chapter on Facebook. Again, you can find it through our website, livingthenextchapter.com. You can go over there. It's a public group. You can join in the conversation. Our past guests have expert badges in the group, which you can quickly identify past guests. If you are a past guest, come over and join us. Our authors get to get on and share more about their books. They get to promote their books. You get to ask them questions and interact with our guests. It's all there. livingthenextchapter.com has links to everything. Again, 100 episode is coming up. Our celebration. Celebrate good times. Come on. And you can be part of the celebration by go over to livingthenextchapter.com, hit that microphone, record a little howdy doody from your part of the world. Again, where you are in the world, who you are, favorite episode, favorite guest, whatever you want to say. 100 episodes. I'm amazed. Thank you for listening to Living the Next Chapter. You are the superstar. You are my hero. I'd love to hear your voice. Send us a message today. Okay? Will you do it? No. Will you do this, please? Talk soon, okay? Enjoy your day. And again, from all of us at Living the Next Chapter, every guest, every other listener out there, thank you for being part of our community. Living the Next Chapter podcast for you.
Mindshift Power Podcast, the podcast for teenagers and those who work with them. There's a huge problem in America today. There's a very large disconnect between teenagers and the adults who work with them. I'm looking to bridge that gap with real, raw, honest conversation, not held back by the chains of political correctness. You cannot solve a problem you do not understand. Want to understand teenagers today? Listen to this podcast. This podcast is for teens in the U.S. and Canada. To learn more, go to fatimabay.com/podcast or just look for Mindshift Power Podcast on any listening platform. I look forward to you being a faithful listener.